Hey guys, so not the best day today. I played 5, won my first one and then lost 4 in a row. And I think I've been cursed by Real Bingus, who posted on the chat, can you upload a loss? Clearly, I mean, it's more fun to go through and analyse the games where I play well and do things right and stuff like that. But yeah, we learn a lot from losses as well. So Real Bingus, this one is for you. Now, when we played, I think my opponent was rated, so I was just over 1500 and my opponent was rated 1599. So I think this was a 10-6 game, something like that. I'd have won 10 points if I'd won. Anyway, I played really well until the end game. And we'll look at that in some detail. Okay, so we've got the Sicilian on the board, and I played this Snyder variation, which wrong foots quite a few people. He thought for 13 seconds and brought his knight out. And the bishop fianchettos there on b2. e5, knight comes out, because now we have 2 attackers and only 1 defender on the pawn. Okay, so now black brings out a knight. So I've got an overwhelm on this pawn, but also this pawn here is undefended. So I decided to go ahead and take, because then I thought, well, you know, maybe if knight takes, I could capture this knight, double his pawns. So, but instead, he initiates the exchange. So knight takes, bishop takes, then knight takes. All right, now we've got an interesting position. So I play queen to e2 to attack the knight, and through it, X-ray defend the bishop. And black plays d5 to defend the knight. Okay. Now, if my bishop wasn't there, I could easily play f3 or d3, attacking the knight, which would then be in an absolute pin, couldn't move. So I try d3 anyway, but the bishop's still there, and now queen comes out to attack the bishop. So bishop goes all the way back to b2. It's a little hidey hole there where it can be a sniper. Okay, so the knight's still under threat. And the knight now moves back to f6, but this is not the best move because both queens are actually pinned. So both queens cannot leave the e-file, right? But now I can capture the knight and the queen can't recapture because it's pinned. So we either have to have pawn takes bishop or exchange of queens, and we'll probably see both. So queen takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, doubled pawns, unhappy looking position for black. Okay, so now knight comes out to c3, need to complete development and castle. Bishop comes out, knight comes out here, now threatening the sensitive c7 underbelly, and a blunder. A blunder from a 1600 player. Puts his bishop here to defend this, but I'd already spotted this. I already knew he couldn't defend it with that bishop. Bang, he's lost his bishop. Right, now full piece up against a 1600 rated player. King attacks the knight, knight runs away, pawn attacks the knight, knight runs away, pawn attacks the knight, knight advances to e4, nice square. Attacking this undefended pawn and this undefended pawn. Pushes one. So what I should have done there is literally capture here. So I missed that completely, and I'd have won the bishop then, as well as another pawn. So I missed that, goes here, attacking the bishop anyway, capture the bishop, pawns undouble. Right, so that was inaccurate for me. Now I play bishop to f3 to defend this, not that one, that one. To defend this pawn against the rook. And king moves and I castle. So it should be relative formality from this point. So I attack the rook, rook moves, I attack the pawn. So I should have so many more options now that I've got the bishop on the board. Rook comes across, I advance g3, and we just have some toing and froing. And now we're kind of competing over the e5 pawn. It's defended 3 times, so I can't capture it right now. Got both rooks and the king. But then one rook moves out the way. And why do I move that? Okay, so I've got ideas of maybe the bishop could come around here. But I can also now play f4 and attack the pawn a 3rd time. We have h5, f4 now, yep. Rook comes back, but it's too late. Got 3 attackers, 3 defenders. Okay, so even though it will work out equal, bang, 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 and all the rooks come off the board. So now we are in an ending. Okay, now king starts to move towards the center of the board. Very common motif, right? and now pawn pushes. So we exchange pawns there. What I maybe should have done here is actually take the opposition instead of putting the bishop there, but I move bishop to f3. But now this is interesting because the king can't go there, there, or there because of the pawn, or there currently because of the king. So this king is stuck, has no way to advance. So he pushes a pawn, and I take the opposition on f2. Pushes a pawn, I move my king back, pushes a pawn again, I'm not concerned, takes, and now we have this gridlock situation in on the queen side. I want to get rid of this pawn, I want to promote this pawn if possible, but we've got a bit of a face-off going on with the king, but black is now running out of pawn moves, so he's going to have to play a king move, and cannot currently move sideways or forwards, so can only move back. So I push a pawn, king moves there, I move the bishop, king comes back with opposition again, good move, right? I move my king, black moves his king. And now we are getting, this is knife edge stuff, okay? I move my bishop to here, black comes in to attack my pawn, right? I move my king to there, right? This isn't the end of the world. King takes. Now what happens is that the rest of the moves on here, we kind of blitz out. And I don't know why, right? This game is won at this point for white, right? All I had to do was drop my bishop into here. Okay, so the bishop's defending both pawns are defending the bishop. So this area of the board is completely locked off, and there is nothing to stop me grabbing this pawn and marching this pawn all the way to become a queen and win the game very, very easily indeed. But I managed to screw it up by rushing, okay? So my move here should have been bishop in there, game over. I'm panicking, right? I think my only chance here, the cat's among the pigeons in my pawns. I've got to get rid of this pawn, get out the way, get this pawn up the board as quickly as I can, and I start even pre-moving. Take the pawn, right? Again, I could have moved my bishop just here. This pawn advances, bang, I take it, this pawn comes up, right? And we get I'm pre-moving some of these moves, and he's got a queen. And it's game over and I resign, right? Absolute insanity on my part, absolute insanity. What do I tell you in all of these videos, right? When you are winning, slow the heck down, take stock, figure out what needs to happen to win this game, to convert this game, and I just absolutely blew it, right? When these pawns are here, with bishop on there, we've got lockdown on that side of the board, and the rest of it's a walk in the park, right? And I've got 23 minutes left on my clock. What an idiot. Absolute blunder. And I mean, this game makes the difference of 16 points, like all games do. In the end, I ended up losing points, go back down under 1500. I'd have been on, even losing the other 3 games I lost this morning, I'd still have been on 1499 if I'd just done simple things, right? There is no excuse. I apologise, I screwed up. So I don't like sharing my cock-ups as much as the wins, but there you go. I said I would share a loss, and there it goes. Very, very embarrassing. The key thing is to learn the lesson, right? Never let the blood rush to your head, never get the red mist, right? Doesn't matter if you're winning or losing, getting overexcited in chess will not serve you, ever at all, right? Slow down, be clinical, get your evil on, play the goldfish, do the goldfish discipline if that's going to help. A couple of times today it certainly would have done, and I wasn't doing it. And there you go. So, you know, you take a loss, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself down, you go, okay, what did I do right, what did I do wrong? And I've identified here a key point in the game. And so what was it? On this move, I played this move in 0.1 seconds. In other words, that was a pre-move, and it was a silly, silly blunder. So thank you for sharing my pain, and please don't ask me to keep uploading lots of losses because it hurts. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. See you soon.